Hey everybody, I'm Nick in the States, and today we're here with my buddy Danny.
Hello, Nick in the States.
And I figured you're sick of seeing me, and you're sick of seeing Tim play these same guitars as we go through March Guitar Madness 2016. So, I'm drafting Danny in here. And it was a good excuse to get Danny in front of the camera and figure out how to play this sick, weird game that is YouTube videos.
Yes. Yeah, this is my first time doing a YouTube video, so this was definitely a learning experience. It's been a lot of fun, but definitely different.
Yes, seriously.
Yes, indeed.
For round 2 of March Guitar Madness, as we said in the video where we kind of introduced the finalists to move into round 2, the final four. This round we're doing the Squier Vintage Modified 70 Stratocaster against the Michael Kelly Valor 2 Americana. Danny added a twist to it. So before we used to call this one what happens when a PRS procreates with a Telecaster, which is there too, or it could be a Strat, a Les Paul, and a Telecaster have a three-way, and everything gets kind of going in there. So that's deep thoughts for today. Yeah,
that's fine. I like that.
It works.
That's all right.
So you guys have already heard how I feel about these. Danny, what are your opinions? Start with Michael Kelly. What's your kind of opinion of it? I haven't played it a bit.
Sure, but before I get into the Michael Kelly, I just wanted to say that I watched all of your previous videos, where you and Tim went through the guitars. So it was really good to get your take and Tim's take on it. Mm-hmm. And they were really cool videos, Thanks, and the great thing about guitars, obviously, is that a guitar is different to every other person that plays it. And a different player who has different styles, different techniques, is better able to, they're able to get different opinions on it, Mm-hmm. And Tim's opinions and your opinions were awesome, and I thought they were really good. But I was really excited to get my hands on these when you asked me to actually play, and see what I thought. So basically, my thoughts on this guitar are this. When I first saw it, I really kind of didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. I am familiar with mini humbuckers. I've got a few guitars that have mini hums, and I like the tones you can get out of it. I've got them on some Les Paul style guitars, and I love them. But I had never played one on, a guitar that also had a Tele style single coil in the in the bridge. So it definitely had a very unique sound. I thought it was great, especially when I was playing it with gain, when it was driven. When I played it with just with a bridge pickup, it was squealing. It was a little microphonic. It was kind of Neil Youngish, squealing.
Crank it with a loud ass band.
Right. Just
life is good.
It sounded like it was like a Firebird pickup that was just squealing. But it was fine. But it was really when I put it into the middle position, and you're able to get that mini hum in the neck with the bridge combined, that it sounded great. Yeah, and I remember I was playing it with some distortion. It was being driven, and when I switched it to that position, I was immediately impressed. Wow, this is a different tone. It doesn't sound like you're just ripping on a bridge pickup. It was awesome. Now, with that being said, when I played it on the clean side, I'll be honest, I didn't love it.
Yeah. The thing is, what I found with this pickup configuration in general, like Tellies, fat Tellies, however you want to call them, mini hum Telly setup, they want to be played out of a Fender amp that's just about to break up,
right,
with a bit of reverb, and they seem to really love that, or pushed a little bit with like a tube screamer into that kind of amp. But like on a clean Britishy it just doesn't quite jive. You know, I find kind of the same thing. When I played out of my Fez, which is like a blackface Fender, it's a lot of fun. It's a very cool amp, and even the Ibanez, it was really nice too.
Right now, but keep in mind, you know, maybe I'm not so stoked about it because of the way that it sounded tonight through that amp. Period of time, and I had different effects going on it, you know, and if I use different amps, I probably would love this guitar.
And Danny's a big like Sonic Youth, Thurston Moore kind of fan, so this seems like it would lend itself to dripping in weird tunings and a whole lot of of funk.
Right. I mean, if I took this guitar and I had it in alternate tunings and I, you know, was playing it through a Vox and then, you know, maybe through a Fender, I don't know, just coming up with different things, you know, I could really come up with some cool sounds. Now, again, when I played it earlier, I wasn't crazy about it, but, you know, it could be different next time I play it around. So,
and I will give a shout out to my buddy Bertrand Degas, who's a great dude, friend of the channel. We go back and forth in email and stuff. Awesome guy from Canada, Quebec, so sort of Canada. They prefer not to be part of Canada.
Français.
Français. Oui, oui. So, he says too that the key thing with the Michael Kelly is set neck, made in Korea, feels great. You've always got abalone inlays or something like that. It's a Korean nut. It's not plastic. It had Grovers. This has locking tuners, and the pickups and hardware are typically pretty high class stuff. So Michael Kelly guitars are awesome. I own a bunch of them. I like them a lot. This one never really found its sweet spot for me enough that it was worth risking putting it up in the March Guitar Madness.
Well, overall, it's a nice guitar.
All right. Now let's switch it up. How about that little guy?
Vintage modified?
Yep.
70s style Squier Strat. I love this guitar.
I knew as soon as he played it.
This guitar...
but when you played it, and you played that thing with a whole lot of gain, when we did the dirty side, it was like, oh, wow. Wow, that's an evil, angry Strat.
I was very surprised by this guitar. Out of all the guitars that I played, I can honestly say this is the one that definitely surprised me the most with just the way that it played and especially the sound. Now, I have a couple of Fender Strats. I have one Squier Strat. But this is the first time I played a vintage modified. These pickups are very cool. They're full. They're very, very good. You know, for I mean, it's my first time playing these Duncan design pickups. And I was playing it through a driven Marshall, and you know,
not usually a recipe for
not usually something that you know everyone wants to do, but it sounded great. You know, and you know, I kind of belong to the school that I like 70s style Strats. You know, I mean,
big old headstock.
I like the big old headstock. I mean, I grew up with that. Now, if I was older, you know, and I grew up in the 60s or whatnot, and I saw the small headstock Fenders, I'd say that's a real Stratocaster. But for me, you know, I'm in my early 40s, so you know, to me, big headstock Strats are kind of.
Plus, they usually, I mean, and this is a little bit lighter, but a big headstock Strat from the 70s usually had an ash-bodied
Right.
battle axe attached to that neck.
Right. I really enjoyed playing this guitar. I thought this guitar sounded great when it was clean. And I was especially impressed with this guitar when it was driven.
Quick AB against. He's got a. Is that a classic vibe?
That is a classic vibe.
50s, which is a really sweet one, and it sounded good. And the classic vibes have a fantastic reputation, but these pickups were just bigger and more ballsy. Which a 50s one should be a thinner sounding one. I guess it makes sense, but to my ear, I enjoyed these. And like I've said before, when I bought this, I plugged it into a Fender Deluxe Reverb. And it sounded amazing. And I was like, whoa. And then I got home and I plugged it into another amp and I was like, oh, it's kind of all right. And then I found some great settings. I was like, oh, okay, it's really awesome. But I was afraid that any guitar would sound good through a Deluxe Reverb, which...
that'll happen.
May also
that'll happen. But the other thing I wanted to mention is I really like the neck. It was very easy to play. And especially when you were trying to do some bends, you know, up on the...
Oh, she sang. When you bend and some of the vibrato that you had with it as you bent, it was just...
some of the vibrato and, you know, as you get into the upper reaches of the neck, this guitar really plays very well. So, out of all of the guitars, again, this was the most surprising to me.
And I said it before, it has some of the best feeling tuners of a guitar. Which seem kind of silly, but when you play with a good set of tuners and it holds tune, it's a surprising guitar. And these things are about $175 used, $150, $175. You can find a steel even less. I think they're new. They're like $250, $270. So they're a great little thing.
Yeah, it's a great. And if you know, and if you do have to move this one, I think it's going to stay here. So that's how much I liked this.
There you go.
This guitar. This guitar.
That's an endorsement.
This guitar was a lot of fun, and I could definitely spend some more time with it. So.
Cool. All right, guys. So vote again. There's going to be the poll feature. Will pop up right now. Danny's already given his endorsement, I think, in the best way that he can. Right. Yeah, and for me, you know, the last round, this one surprised me, and I think a lot of people were like, wow, the pickups in that sound awesome. And in that round, I was playing through like a Fender Blackface, which it is this thing's sweet spot. But, you know, I felt a little heartwarmed playing, and I was like, oh, man, our tugs. But I'm like, maybe it's got to go. So we'll see. Vote. Let us know. And we'll be doing, in some format, a live round to make the final decision at the end. So, thanks, everybody. I've been Nick in the States.
And I'm Danny.
And obviously, we've got issues. Take care, folks.